And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock Thursday, October 30th. I know a lot of you are going to want to watch football after this. This is an NBA show, people. We've got 4 basketball games to talk about. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow us both on Twitter. I'm Josh Engelman. That is Eric Lindquists, and we have a lot to talk about. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just, we've got one big Q tag in the first game, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, get everything out to all the people over on Tails, try to get some actionable information early here. And then, well, we got a lot of DFS to play today between this and then NFL Live Before Lock coming up after us. So it should be a fun showdown slate for that one. Building some lineups before the show and now back into NBA mode.
Yeah, I'm going to build some showdown stuff after we're done. But other than that, I'm also intrigued by it. Did the perfect lineup earlier as well. So hope you guys are checking that out. Yeah, we've got to deal with this Franz Wagner news. Not too much else hanging in the balance for today, but we'll talk about everything. We have enough time that we could hit on every game kind of quickly and then take some bigger steps around, bigger conversations, just so everybody is aware. Top of the ownership table, Anthony Black, 45% owned. Jaime Jaquez, 40% owned. Dylan Harper, 35. Paolo, 30. And then we've got like a sea of dudes in the 20s. Let's take a look at it. Let's start with the Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets. I'm guessing we should probably just start with the biggest piece of news, which is if Franz Wagner doesn't play, that's going to change up Orlando quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to make some ridiculousness ensue. I mean, not only that, but we get Jalen Suggs out on the back-to-back, considering, he's coming off of that left knee injury. And it's just one of those spots where you're going to get a lot of Anthony Black. You're going to play him no matter what. That's not really going to change anything there. But Tristan da Silva is kind of the guy that I've kind of got circled, centered, ended up getting some money down on plus 475 for 15 plus points. That's just kind of an outlier number for a guy who right now is listed at 10. Doesn't have a lot of minutes upside if Franz Wagner is in there, but I think he's the presumed starter. Who would you have as the 5th starter if Franz Wagner's out?
I assume it's him.
So it's just a play on minutes upside for the most part. I mean, we've got Paolo Banchero, who becomes ridiculous then. He's playing massive minutes. He'll play massive minutes every single night for this team. 1.28 DraftKings points per minute with Franz Wagner off the floor so far this season. We have a ton of sample size going back to last year as well, where it looks even a little bit better. And then we're seeing Desmond Bane play like absolute garbage, but he's going to look a lot better than the 0.83 DraftKings points per minute he's put up in 36 minutes alongside Paolo Banchero in the absence of Franz Wagner. So your main pieces, Anthony Black, he's going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere because he's a bad boy for life, at least hopefully today. You got Franz Wagner, who, if he's in, looks ridiculously good. Just you have so much leverage going that direction. Nobody's really clicking on it. But Paolo Banchero will take a massive step up. Desmond Bane would take a massive step up. And then 5th starter, I think Tristan da Silva becomes like your best value piece on that team outside of Black.
I think it could be Tyus as well, now that I'm looking at it.
Could be, but then you're getting 3 guards out there. Desmond Bane at the 3.
I mean, Anthony Black's 6'7".
It's true. He's a big dude, but yeah.
Bane at 6'6". Like, obviously, Tyus is the actual little one there, but it's Charlotte too, like it's Colin Knippel, I think, is at the 3. So it's Colin Sexton. So like that could just as easily be Tyus.
Franz Wagner.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Franz Wagner available to play. We don't have to worry about it at all now. Yeah. That just happened.
A team that's playing like absolute garbage right now. So
I'd rather have that news right now than 20 minutes from now.
It's probably true. Although, I don't know. Now
I mean, him being in, like if he's just going to be in, I'd rather have it now.
Right.
If he's going to be out, then I'd rather have it at like 6:50 and hope we get it in.
Fair.
All right. Well, now we can talk about this game legitimately. Let's start at the top. Anthony Black, presumed starter in place of Jalen Suggs. 4,300 point guard, shooting guard eligible. 46% owned and 54% optimal. Tough to get away from, assuming he starts. That price tag's just built for a guy that isn't starting.
And shooting guard eligibility, which really helps. Just kind of move them all over the place. You got him. You got Trey Mann, who also looks really, really good. I think just figuring out roster construction as far as like who are some of the tournament pieces you want to be getting to? I mean, the Sims are going to be able to dilute it correctly for me. I'm not going to worry too much about it right now, but Anthony Black is like full go so long as he's the guy who is starting, and all the news we were waiting on for this slate basically just existed in that game. So now that we've got it, we're playing everything face up and just going to kind of build like lineups with it in mind that like, all right, Anthony Black, shooting guard, he's just going to show up a bunch, and there's not a lot that I'm going to do to change that. It's just figuring out what other pieces that I want to put around him, especially if I'm going to be playing some other chalk here and there. And Franz Wagner, I assume that ownership's going to come up now without the Q tag once that gets removed. And it just is what it is. Like, Orlando's a team that gets to play Charlotte today. They're playing crazy up in pace already to begin this season. So like, there's not a lot else to say other than like, yeah, it's been bad, but at least it's been fast paced, and that's good for us in DFS.
I have so much of this Orlando team today. It's stupid. Like, I have a ton of Anthony Black over the field. I don't think that's the like weird part. I'm 2xing Desmond Bain. I'm 1.5xing Franz. And then I've got a massive stand on Wendell Carter Jr. that I'm going to have to like walk back manually when I start building out lineups for real. I've got all of this. I mean, I've got a lot of this game in general, but I've got a ton of this Orlando team. Like, I'm still with the field on Paolo Banchero. I've got it all. Charlotte, I just like this spot.
Do you feel the tide's starting to turn where maybe we get a Goga start sooner rather than later? Or do they just hate the idea of Goga ever starting? Because I think he's a better basketball player than Wendell Carter Jr., but whatever.
I prefer Wendell Carter Jr., but I am a Goga stan as well. I don't think they're going to look to make that change.
Okay.
They could.
Just looking at it got to be blowout central. He played 26.5 minutes yesterday. Wendell Carter played all of 15 minutes? 15 minutes for Wendell Carter yesterday.
I'll be honest. So we watched the beginning of that game. He took a shot early. I don't know if anything happened after that. I just remember seeing it and talking about it. That doesn't help anything.
Good talk. Glad we had it. But I definitely feel as though I feel as though Goga defensively, especially when you get a Desmond Bain, like the guys who have been playing alongside Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, like Desmond Bain, I know it hasn't shown up yet, but like, should be an offensive upgrade over. Yeah. Oh, Wendell Carter did. Yeah, that had to be it, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say 15 minutes was just a ridiculous outlier looking at that box score last night. And so I assumed there was probably something wonky there, but you don't need Wendell Carter offense out on the floor. Like, if you're going to have Jalen Suggs, I'm just thinking like into the future when you have Suggs, Bain, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, do you need Wendell Carter out there? Or do you just want to have like your version of Derek Lively the second or whatever it might be? Just like a defensive center, like a guy who just never has the ball in his hand. Like, I'd be all right with that.
I think that's Wendell Carter Jr. I think you just described their starting center.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm defensively, Goga's an upgrade over Wendell Carter Jr. But
the only thing I'll say is like, yeah, I think they should upgrade Wendell Carter Jr., but I don't think Goga's the answer either.
No, not long-term for sure. No, but right now, maybe just mix it up.
You want to talk about Trey Mann?
No. Not really.
Trey Mann, by the way, point guard, shooting guard eligible, much like Anthony Black. However, 3,800, quite a bit less owned as well, 26% ownership. Are you experiencing Trey Mann today?
Yeah, I hate it. I really, really hate it. It's just one of those things mentally when you're playing guys against Orlando on purpose that just kind of feels weird to me. This is just kind of the bias of doing this the last however many years. And like, it does not feel good, especially when there are lots of ways that Trey Mann doesn't play as much as we would want him to here. And at 3,800, he's been 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy so far this season. We know that he can go out and be a little bit more assertive than that. He also got dinged up against Washington, where ends up going to the locker room. Then they play again on the 28th, and the minutes were right back. He got to 27, but it was a blowout against Miami. So I think 21, 22 minutes, kind of the baseline you're looking at for him, 0.8. That would not look good. You better hope that comes up, and you better hope Orlando's still got the pace going for him. But how many guys do we have sub 4K that we feel good about on this slate? Not any. So Trey
Not a
Mann is
lot.
kind of the guy who gives and unlocks things for you.
Yeah, not a lot. I don't have a lot, actually. I'm under on Trey Mann right now.
I'm over and I don't want it. So I'm probably going to do what you're doing, but we'll see. We'll see.
My guess is that it comes up slightly as I start adjusting some of these rates because he doesn't look horrific, but I do anticipate being about half the field there, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
In terms of Charlotte guys, like I'm getting a little bit more Bridges. I've got a bit more Colin Sexton. I've got Ryan Kalkbrenner. So I have other pieces of Charlotte. He's just kind of the one that I'm not getting now.
It just defies logic that Orlando's playing in a game with like nearly a 240 total to me. And that has to go on both sides. Like Orlando's only 3-point favorites, which is also just so weird to me. I know that I had seen that. Did you end up betting Charlotte, by the way? Did you end up betting them? Or sorry, did you end up betting Orlando? Orlando it was.
For this game?
Yeah, I saw something on Tails earlier. You ended up on the Orlando side.
Sure did.
I'm with you. Last night, just kind of like looking at it, and the fact that this line has not moved is just wild to me. So I'm just going to sit it out for the most part. But I'm kind of in your line of thinking. I leaned Charlotte last night purely because I'm like, nothing about this makes sense. Orlando with a 240 total defies anything that I know, and I expect positive shooting regression for Desmond Bane. Otherwise, he's just not somebody you want out on the floor, which is a weird thing to say out loud because it's a very good player in Desmond Bane. I assume he's going to figure it out, and they'll get the pieces in order here. But
I hope so.
Charlotte, I mean, it's just a wild line considering Brandon Miller's out and considering the front court and considering everything on the Charlotte side.
Do you want to join me on any of these Charlotte idiots like Sexton or Kalkbrenner or Miles Bridges?
Yeah, the Sexton piece is kind of interesting. Shooting guard only, but 6,100. The price is now kind of getting up to a place where it's not as palatable. He was mega chalk at 5,400, and now he's like right around the 20% number today. And as I'm building out lineups, I just kind of keep landing. Like I did some hand build stuff in the single lineup simulator like earlier this morning and was kind of piecing it around. It's like, oh, guard 6,100, 6,200. And he just kind of like was a last guy in a couple of different builds. But I don't think that there's any issue that I have with it. He's been a 1.15 DraftKings point per minute player now with Charlotte so far. It's with Brandon Miller out, it's definitely a spot where the minutes are pretty secure. LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, they're still putting up good fantasy numbers here. And then Diabate does as well. But I just kind of look at Sexton as somebody who just shows up by default, not somebody I'm like prioritizing by any means. But if I got more than 20%, I'd be just fine making that like a contrarian stand because we know it's there. Like 45 is there for Sexton.
Absolutely. Oh, I thought we were getting news. It was just my watch telling me I need to stand up.
No, bitch.
Yeah, I'm massively overexposed to this game, and I'm not mad about it for right now. So I assume Orlando is just going to go out there and beat them by 50, like I've been screaming about for the past week. But we shall see. I mean, I guess we didn't really say much about Paolo. He is 30% owned. That's the second highest owned guy in this game. I'm like right around the field with him. I don't have much of a take. He just seems fine.
He's fine. Again, now I definitely don't have a take. We don't have to ramp him up to 1-3, 1-4 without a Franz Wagner on the floor. And it's just kind of like, for him, you look at the power forward position today, and we have Giannis as far as the spend up goes, but we got Bam Adebayo. That one's interesting without a Norman Powell and coming off of burning everybody and going up against that Wemby guy who seems to be pretty good. But otherwise, as far as spend ups go, 8,800 against Charlotte, like I'm 240 total. You just kind of look at the game environments that we've got on this slate. That one's nearly 10 points higher than everybody else. And so just like, if this game moves and you're massively overweight to it, like you are, you kind of want Paolo to just go along for the ride there and just kind of be overexposed to the whole thing. And you get that shootout potential on a short slate. That's never a bad thing.
Next one up on today's day is the Golden State Warriors against the Milwaukee Bucks. 8:00 start. So we've got an hour after that first one. Not a ton of ownership coming in here. 20% to Cole Anthony, about 15% to Butler, Kuminga, and Giannis. And then it's like 10 for Turner, Green, and very low for everybody else. I don't have a ton of this game either. What are you doing here? I don't think we should start with Cole Anthony because he's at the top of the table. What do you want to do with Giannis?
I'm probably going to be overweight when it's all said and done, but that's the Trey Mann thing. Like right now, I've got a lot of Trey Mann in my lineups, and so I have a lot of Giannis. If I remove the Trey Mann piece and I just, it just becomes a very difficult ask to get to a 12-1 Giannis here in this spot. And he's been doing everything. The assist rate through the moon now with no Lillard on the floor, with him gone, with all these other pieces. Milwaukee just surrounds him with shooting. We've talked about that multiple times on this, where it's just like, get in motion. I don't love Doc Rivers as a coach, but there's no doubt that you go back to the JJ Redick days, and he will scheme up some really, really good opportunities for the likes of an AJ Green or Ryan Rollins, things of that nature. And it's all predicated on the fact that you want shooters surrounding Giannis. That has been the impetus. That's been the goal forever for Milwaukee. That is the only thing they should care about offensively, is just like guys who can spot up and shoot it, because if the lane is open, Giannis is fine by himself. He doesn't need a lot of help to be successful. And he should just pulverize so many of these teams. But at least Golden State has the pieces to contain him to some extent. Like, in theory, you have an Al Horford and a Draymond Green there to deal with a Giannis. That's like your sole purpose of them existing. And I'm not going to be doing anything. We have Giannis projected for 60 fantasy points. If we have any value that allows for me to do it, that shows up randomly, I'm going to get to more Giannis. But right now, it's there because I have Trey Mann in more lineups than I probably want. So it's probably going to come down.
I have 9%.
How's that feel?
Not good.
No.
Not a place I want to be right now, but we could talk about where that ownership is going later. The most I have of anybody in this game is 15% of Miles Turner and 15% of Jimmy Butler. Everything else is just minimal.
I like how
I have
Miles
less
Turner's
in the field.
Miles Turner's going on podcasts talking shit, and I'm like, dude, you haven't done a damn thing yet in your new home. Like, what are we doing? Like, why is he dissing Tyrese Halliburton, my boy? Why is he doing this? Like, for no reason.
It's an odd duck.
Yeah,
it's an odd duck.
Anyway, Miles Turner, I get it. 5,800.
Yeah,
slides in 30 minutes. He's played 28 to 31 minutes every single game out. They're not going to push it beyond that. But Golden State, they do lack the size, even though Miles Turner, not a great rebounding big by any means, no stretch of the imagination. We're just hoping we start to see some shooting regression. Again, that's kind of been the theme of a lot of these teams that went out and got a guy. Miles Turner has a 40.2% true shooting now through 118 minutes. It's just brutality. And that's got to come up. It's going to come up.
Is there anything we're missing here? Like, I get the value for Cole Anthony at 4,800 helps to pay up for some of these more expensive guys. There's not really much ownership coming on anybody here. Giannis has some positive leverage. Kuminga has some positive leverage, but everything else is just sort of like, these guys aren't all that owned. They're owned about what they're supposed to be. And that sort of ends the conversation. What are we missing? Should we be looking at a 6% owned Steph Curry? Should we be looking at the consensus right now is a starting $4,200 center Quentin Post. Are we missing anything here?
Ryan Rollins, I think, is at least interesting. Ends up getting dinged up yesterday, and I think he would have played more, like a lot more than Cole Anthony in that spot. And Cole Anthony ended up getting kind of a surplus of minutes first game back there. Cole Anthony is the better fantasy producer. I'm not going to argue that one whatsoever, but it's kind of a minutes thing if you get in a competitive spot. We saw 27 minutes against Toronto, kind of a weird spot there with Rollins. And then 26, he didn't end up playing in that one against Cleveland. Last time out, I just am not convinced that Cole Anthony would have gotten to 24, 25 minutes there if it weren't for Rollins getting dinged up. And Rollins shot like north of 40% from three last season in a nearly 1,000-minute sample size. I think he's pretty darn secure as the guy who's going to be the starting point guard. My thing is like a closing lineup. I don't know. It might be a hot hand thing if Cole Anthony's just trucking, but the thing is people are already playing him at like the 21% number. And if it ends up being like a 28-20, 28, maybe 2 minutes of overlap, like a 29-23 type situation, like I think we're looking at Cole Anthony just being overowned relative to like where Ryan Rollins, nobody is playing him right now. So I have north of 10% Ryan Rollins, and I'm fine with that in 50 lineups.
I have 12% Ryan Rollins. He's like the only stand of anything I have in here. Let's do it, brother.
Let's go.
That's it, though. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else here. 2 shares of Steph.
How much Cole Anthony did you play?
11%.
Yeah, I don't really like him as much as what the field does. Just considering we have Anthony Black. Like, assuming Anthony Black's your starter, it just makes no sense that I need to have Cole Anthony at this kind of ownership. And I just feel like there's certain spots that I kind of want to make a stand today, and this is not necessarily one of them. I'm not going to be Xing him out by any means, but I'm going to be closer to that 10-12% type number too.
All righty. Well, let's hit another game, because we're going to have plenty of time to take on some questions, talk some potential tails stuff a little bit later. The floor is ours at this point. We've got one game locking at 7. This should be relatively calm. I hope I didn't jinx it.
Yeah, you might have. That was an evil thing to do.
It was, but I honestly hope that it's not that calm. That's better for us. That's why we do this show.
Morning. Yeah, well, also just gives you a reason to tune in, because we'll be able to react to it better than, I would say, the average bear, which is probably why we're still here, Josh.
The Washington Wizards are north of 2 touchdown underdogs against the Oklahoma City Thunder today. The Wizards are actually getting healthier for this one. They're going to be getting Bilal Coulibaly back. Oklahoma City is not healthy, but they also got somebody back. That would be Isaiah Joe. They will be without Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Kenrich Williams, Thomas Sorber, and shout out Nikola Topic. It finally came out what was up with him and why he's out. Testicular cancer. So I hope that goes really well for him. I just assumed it was like a testicular torsion thing, just the way that the report came out, but that came out today. So best of luck to him, man.
Yeah, that sucks. Anybody who knows anybody who's had testicular cancer, it's one of those things that just there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just get your balls checked. How about that? Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock.
Yeah, absolutely. So this game, in theory, shouldn't be very good. There are real blowout scenarios to talk about here. It's one of the blowout scenarios where Oklahoma City's defense can just hold Washington to like 70 and nobody's good in this. Mm-hmm. We've got about 25% ownership coming into AJ Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, and Shea. 15 for Hartenstein, and then everybody else is 10 or below. How do you want to manage this game?
I don't know. This is the game that's probably frustrated me the most working through it. I think there are some your boy AJ Mitchell continues to impress me. That continues to be a really, really good shout out by you. And it was after the first game where I'm just like, I'm not sure the usage is going to continue. You're like, I am pretty certain we're going to see this guy come off the bench and chuck repeatedly. And boy, oh boy, has that come to fruition. Adding a nice number of things around it too. Been very efficient in minutes, been very good for Oklahoma City. Not that we should be shocked that Presti hits on another piece out of the middle of nowhere. I mean, hopefully Topic can get better and come out there then too, because there's some interest that I have in that guy too, who could be doing a lot of things for Oklahoma City. But in the absence of Jalen Williams, as long as that continues to be the case, we're going to continue to play some AJ Mitchell in our lives. I'm right around the field on him right now. I probably end up coming down a little bit as well. Just the more that I keep working through lineups, the more I'm just landing on Aaron Wiggins because I kind of need it. Like the 5,500 Aaron Wiggins thing isn't like a play that I'm making. Just between the two of them, I just have a lot more Aaron Wiggins at the moment. And I think that there's scenarios where he'll still close in some of these blowouts. AJ Mitchell will obviously close in some of these blowouts. But the positionality for Aaron Wiggins just helps out so much for me. So not that I like him more, or he's got like a fantasy point better projection for 500 more, but small forward, power forward is much more useful than a point guard on this slate.
Aaron Wiggins is my most exposed player coming out of this game. He's in 28% of my stuff, but I don't have too much else. I got about 20% of Isaiah Hartenstein. I've got about half the field of Shea right now. And then I only have 8% of my guy, AJ Mitchell, which honestly, it makes me feel kind of bad. He deserves to go off today and rub it in my face if that maintains by the time we get to lock. I'm not happy about it, but there's not a lot here for me. This is a disgusting game.
I do think.
Can you imagine if they were at full strength?
Oh, say that again.
Can you imagine if they were at full strength?
No, it'd be a 19.5 point line with Williams and Holmgren in there. It would be. It would legitimately be bordering 20.
Yeah.
Dumb. But that being said, want to have a Cam Whitmore discussion?
So I have 2 shares of him.
Okay.
But just from what I'm looking at right now, I wouldn't mind if that number were 10%.
It's going to be a lot more than that for me. I think this is the Cam Whitmore closeout special tournament winning kind of deal. So I said I had a lot of Giannis coming into this show, and I kind of was under the impression that Franz Wagner would probably sit. I was kind of screwing around with some like iterations of it. Obviously didn't change any of the baselines at Stokastic, but I kept running stuff and I kept looking at it and I'm like, I get that we have all of the Washington pieces. You brought it back. Koulibaly, he is back in our lives today. He's going to play. You have so many guys that are just ridiculous as far as like how to go about projecting. Kispert's going to play. Trey Johnson's going to play. Marvin Bagley, like these guys off the bench that aren't Carrington, McCollum, Middleton, George Sarr, like out of this starting 5, like I think there's a lot of volatility. So what we should do is we should just take the guy who's the best fantasy producer, who we know has a massive ceiling, who will have no problems chucking at the end of a game when they're down 25 or 30. Cam Whitmore, I can't imagine that he isn't that dude, and he is the cheapest of everybody. So like, I hate Washington today. I think they are an awful team to be rostering. I have a little bit of Alex Sarr. I have a little bit of Kaishan George, nothing else really. And so I went through and I boosted the one, the only, because he is 3,600. If he wasn't 3,600, I doubt I'd even take the shot at like 4K, 4,200. But I think Cam Whitmore is probably the most interesting tournament play on the Washington, like probably in this entire game for me.
Realistically, he could play the entire 4th quarter,
which would be unbelievable if you've ever seen Cam Whitmore play basketball. It never leaves his hand. It just, once it goes there, it's in the air. And it is perfect for what you want for like mop-up duty at 3,600 to win a tournament. So I currently have north of 20% of him, and I don't know if there's anything that I'm going to do that is going to change that as we talk through the rest of these games. I just think if you want to play Giannis and make like a calculated stand somewhere that is sub 4K, that isn't just playing Trey Mann over and over and over again like everybody else, where you're just, holding hands with that 2v2, try some Cam Whitmore out in your life. I think it's a really, really good way to go about it. Cam Whitmore is not the best player on the Wizards. I want to just say that very much so. Not in the AM, bro, but Cam Whitmore is offensively forward, and Cam Whitmore loves himself some Cam Whitmore, which I like in my 3,600 small forwards that could play garbage time.
I relate to that as well. I like me some me.
I know. But here's the thing, Josh, you're pretty special. It's okay.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's not talk Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is up to 4,300. If he plays the blowout kind of script, sweet, but like it doesn't do as much for you as a 3,600 Cam Whitmore. And center only for Jalen Williams, I can't really get behind it on this one. If he was sub 4K, yeah, I know the assist rate, everything else that he can do on a basketball floor. How many times did he triple-double last year when they just punted games and won anyway, where Jalen Williams was the guy on the floor? Problem is you still have SGA, you still have Hardenstein, you still have now AJ Mitchell eating up a lot of usage too. So like Jalen Williams, the ceiling just isn't there the same way.
Yeah, I didn't get a single share of him. They just don't seem to stretch him out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens from time to time, but if this game goes the way that like we all think it would go, I think that Brandon Carlson is the guy that's out there for a bunch more minutes, more so than Jalen Williams with a Y. Fair. And I'm not saying that because I want to play Brandon Carlson either. Just that like that's the dude they're going to use when this goes to shit, likely inevitably.
Yeah, just hold on to your butts, everybody. I think Isaiah Joe kind of falls into the Cam Whitmore bucket to some extent, but like shooting guard is so useless on this slate that it just turns into Cam Whitmore for me.
I'm guessing he's just going to play like 16 minutes, get his feet wet. Like they don't care at all about an individual performance. Like the only thing they care about is making sure that these guys are ready in a couple months. So I just don't think they're going to like step on the gas on any of these guys, which they shouldn't.
They're going to be up by 30. So they shouldn't. You're dead on that. I mean, and if you're Washington, all you're doing is just trying to get to the deadline with some semblance of value for a couple of these guys and trying to flip and flip and flip and do whatever you can to try to like get out of this hole that you've built for yourself.
Look, they've had a good like 2-year stretch. They've started to trade out things for assets. They're starting to, I like some of their drafts. They've got a lot of young guys here, but I mean they're years away right now. Yeah. And you got to use that CJ slot and that Middleton slot in some way. Is that it? Hold on. Nope. That's still more Friday news. 6:30. I just assumed we were getting like starting lineups or something when it vibrated, because we've got one more game to hit on. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys, it's awesome over here on the Stokastic streets. These are some of the screenshots that we've seen and got sent to us since the beginning of the NBA season. This is just NBA goods. There's plenty more here for the NFL side, including 2 Millie winners so far this season. I think we had 4 last year, something along those lines. It's a great time to be here, guys. If you want to come in at Stokastic, it's very simple. There is a link in the description of this video. If you sign up through one of our partners, you can get a month of the Sims for no cost whatsoever. You can see it on the screen. You see the link there. Just follow the instructions on the page when you get there. Basically, you'll click a link, you'll sign up at one of the partners that you're looking for, make a qualified deposit. Could be $25. Not sure. It depends on the site. Once you do it, you'll probably get something from them too. Free bets, bonus bets, something. Let us know. You get a month of the Sims. And this all stacks. If you want to sign up for 3 or 4 of these, once you submit this stuff to us, you can get 3 or 4 months worth of the Sims for no cost. This is an incredible deal. So whether it's on the Pick'em side or the Sportsbook side, if you're eligible to sign up there and you haven't done it yet, you should do it through our link. That way you get a month of the Sims for absolutely nothing. It's really easy. Doesn't get any better than that.
Lineup. What in the world are we doing?
Oh no. I didn't see it yet. Hold on. Ball, Sion, James, Knipple, Bridges, Kalkbrenner. So okay, that doesn't shock me too much.
Bye, Sexton. Bye.
Yeah, I think that's most like, this is like a 2-minute swing both directions is my first thought. Like, it's just one of those things where there's not a lot of utility in having Colin Sexton being out there when LaMelo Ball is out there. So just stagger them from the jump and make it a little bit easier.
That's fine, but that 2 minutes is pretty valuable when I already was like on the verge of like, oh my God, the Sexton thing, it's just gotten to a place, but I get it from a real basketball sense too. I'm not going to just disagree with that. I just don't. Sion James is a complete 0 in terms of usage, so that's useless to us. This is like, he is going to be an awful fantasy producer. So what is his tag? Please don't say flat 3K.
Sion James. No, he's been playing. I'm guessing like 41.
Thank God. Okay. Yeah. Don't have to deal with that. I
couldn't remember. I didn't have it in front of me right there. All right, I just moved him around quickly. That feels unlikely as a rate.
This really doesn't help Trey Mann, though. I will say that too, because now you're going to stagger it where Trey Mann isn't coming in absent the 2. He's going to be coming in with Sexton. That's not ideal.
I want to look at something quickly here on the old PBP stats.
Look at that.
All right, Sion James, 79 minutes so far, 165 possessions. The old 10 usage rate. Got it.
Yeah, I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad. I just know that it's a low usage rate just from red code or just the red sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a small adjustment there.
Of course, he's point guard only too. So just the most useless piece of value you could possibly run into. And now you're going to clip that when he puts up 35.
All right. So like realistically, we had Colin Sexton 23% owned prior to this. That is unequivocally coming down. Probably by half, if I had to guess. I don't really think Sion James is going to take like a giant leap here. No. I mean, he's obviously now way more playable than he was before. This is point per dollar value, but 3,700 point guard only isn't amazing. I doubt that he projects better than Trey Mann does. and Trey Mann has the MPE. So I'm guessing Sion James comes in at like that 10-ish range, somewhere around there.
Sounds about right. I think that's still probably maybe a little heavy for me. I hope people play a lot of Sion James potentially, like famous last words, but like he would have to play a lot more minutes, like a lot more in this starting role to potentially have that be something that, because he's not going to close. I would be completely shocked if he closed. He'd have to play like Super Saiyan, like some of those Keon Ellis games of days of yore to close in this spot. And Keon Ellis can play defense. I don't understand this for what it's worth. I really don't.
I'm not shocked. I don't think this is crazy.
I changed my answer. I understood. Now I'm just like talking through the rates and looking at it. I'm like, I get Sexton off the bench in the absence of LaMelo Ball, but like I would start somebody that isn't Sion James then. Whatever.
I like this. I think this dude competes. I think they need it. I think he's the, like, they don't have anybody that can guard the ball. That's what he's out there to do right now, is to be their defensive stopper. Because certainly that's not going to be Colin Sexton. They want to try Sion James. They need somebody to pressure. Like, Sion James is going to take Josh Green's job when Josh Green gets back. But yeah, from a DFS perspective today, like it's not going to be great shakes.
No, he's the Keon Ellis in this situation, just out there for those purposes.
All right, we're going to hit this super chat from Mr. Cool Cam. Favorite plays at each position on FanDuel. Looks like we're getting an ownership update right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this question because we need to see all this information pop back up. Projections updated a minute ago. Usually the ownership's a minute behind it, and we'll be able to take a look at this here.
Just fine by me.
I like this slate. I'm excited to sit down and watch it. There is no other human being in my home right now, so I'm going to sit back, relax, watch some basketball, watch some football. Going to be a good night.
The dream. My wife's been yelling at me to do chores like all afternoon. I'm just like, well, I have to work first. There is that, but then, yeah, tonight just going to be yard work. We can't wait. Happy Halloween, all everybody.
Right. Top play at each position on FanDuel. I mean, either point guard or shooting guard, wherever you want to put him, it's definitely Dylan Harper. Desmond Bane is going to be one of those two.
Yep.
I think Wemby is probably one of these. I prefer him to Shea.
Yeah. Does a site with Wemby where he gets 3 for a block interest anybody? It interests me.
Yeah.
There is no doubt that Wemby, I like him a lot for FanDuel purposes. I think most people with a pulse do.
Probably Isaiah Hartenstein, Anthony Black.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably about where I would land there.
Yep. That sounded perfect. Bam Adebayo, 8K on FanDuel. There's that.
Well, let's talk about Bam Adebayo and Victor Wembanyama, who play in the late game tonight. Miami, San Antonio, 40% ownership coming into Jaime Jaquez. 35 coming into Dylan Harper. 30 coming into Nikola Jovic. 23 to Wemby. 20 to Bam. 15 to Castle, Wiggins, Ware, and Champagne. What do you like in this final game?
Yeah, I obviously like Jaquez, but something tells me that he's going to be like 50% owned. Just everything that I know about NBA DFS, there's recency. He just came off of a complete smash. There's obvious opportunity without Norman Powell to go out and score the basketball. And also, when you go on X and you see all these Jaime Jaquez points ladders coming off of him putting up 28 points, I got to tell you one thing. That ain't me today. San Antonio, obviously, you've got a rim protector there in Victor Wembanyama, who is, I would say, revelatory, like he's one of a kind, one of one now already as a 21-year-old. That doesn't help anything by any means. And Jaquez, he was basically able to get to the rim at will against Charlotte. And now this is going to be a very different situation there. I do not like the Jaime Jaquez 50% type piece that I'm expecting him to be, but if he comes in around 40, I'm just fine with what's showing up on the screen and just kind of playing him. I talked about, small forward, power forward has some utility for some other guys. Like, that's kind of the deal. Is like, for me, I'm just worried that Jaquez pushes crazy ownership. Josh, do you get that same feeling?
I do. I do. And I'm very interested to see what this sim looks like, because when I ran my first one, I essentially didn't have him, which was not something I was mad about, because I don't love that ownership number. I get the flexibility and it's fine, but like, I don't trust this Heat team. I don't trust him more than Fontecchio or Larson or it's the Heat. They are perpetually not fun to nail down. Why can't today just be Davion Mitchell day? Like, because it can.
Yeah, and that's my main thing here, is that like, I do expect that ownership to get to a place of unpalatability. That is not a word, but that's where my brain went with it.
I think it is a word.
Unpalatability. That's what I have when I feel like I'm going to flip to the Jaime Jaquez number, and we're going to see 50%, especially in like single entry and stuff. Coming off of that, he slides into lineups pretty easily, but like, give me Dylan Harper as more of the like chalk piece here. Talked about being lighter on Trey Mann. I'm all right with Dylan Harper at his ownership. I do think Jovic is still somebody that I want to play to some extent here. The salary savings, 4,300. And Stephon Castle just feels like one of those dudes at 7K that you want to talk about 45 being there. We've seen that so many times in days of yore. 17.5 points prop. Looking at some of his other numbers, I don't completely hate some of what I'm looking at around the industry for him. And he's shooting guard only, so I know there's just nobody's going to be clicking on him. He feels like one of those guys, if you've got some chalky options surrounding it, if you're building out in the Sims or you're trying to like find your top Stephon Castle lineups or something of that nature, you can surround it with some chalk and be pretty confident he's not going to get steamed up at all. Like, I'd actually be surprised to see him in that 16, 17% type number. Just feels like the forgotten guy, and he's kind of put at a price where against Miami, it's just not going to get steamed in any way, shape, or form. So kind of like him as like a tournament option of sorts. Bam, more appealing on FanDuel, where, power forward center, but power forward only 8,500. Kind of a weird one on this slate for DraftKings. You can see his optimal percentage is just way lower. We have him nowhere close. Part of that
massive negative leverage.
Yeah, and Paolo Banchero, Giannis, what we talked about from the onset, it's just such a hard spot for me to want to get to Bam or prioritize Bam. Now the price came up after what just went down, and he has to deal with Wemby, who, again, we're going to witness something just crazy with Wemby over the next couple of years, and I'm happy for the ride of it. I can guarantee you who's not going to be happy about it. Opposing bigs.
No, it's not going to be a fun time, man. That dude is so damn good. I'm so excited that like they play tonight and it's at a reasonable enough time that I could watch most of it. Like, because I don't want to miss it. It's going to be great.
He's somehow better than Build. Like, he's somehow better, which doesn't make sense.
I just want him to be healthy.
Me too. I worry about it like a knee. It just terrifies me. Now I'm getting Jaquez again. This sucks. And I don't want as much Wendell Carter as I'm getting. That also sucks.
I have a lot of Wendell Carter Jr. This is a very different day for me. I've got 20% of Giannis now, 20% of Wemby, 20% of Shea. Just flat. I'm fading Paolo Banchero. That's my biggest fade. I basically have all things Orlando except for Paolo, so I'm sure he's going to have a fucking monster against Charlotte.
Like right at the field, 28% in 50 lineups. So yeah, I
have a lot of Bam.
You have a lot of Bam now?
I do.
No. Traitor.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it now.
Traitor. How much Cam Whitmore did I end up with in this run? Because I had to boost him before, and now how much do I have to get? There we go.
I have like 5, I think, or 4% of Cam Whitmore right now.
All right. Well,
I have a lot of Ryan Rollins, which I don't love.
Be on the right side of history and jam Cam Whitmore with me. Come on.
I mean, I gave him a boost. I'm not going to do it again.
Oh, man, I have a lot of Stephon Castle. I really do like the Stephon Castle piece a lot for tournaments tonight.
I'm dead neutral to the field on him, and I think I had him pretty aggressively projected too.
Okay.
Amy S wants us to give tiers picks. Let's do it.
Okay. Let me find tiers quick. All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm not super familiar with getting to it as fast as possible, but I'm working on it.
Mainly because we've had those.
Oh, I got to cue that up. Amy, I'll have that for Monday. Monday, they will automatically just go to my Twitter. I'll do this weekend. I was talking about it earlier. I need to just do it. It'll take me like an hour.
Jalen Wright.
Pay attention to my Twitter.
Thursday. Holy shit.
Wait, who?
Chan. Oh, Jalen Wright inactive for NFL tonight. I bet him. He was 17-1 to score a touchdown. He's actually like played a couple of snaps here or there. I was like, for a guy who's actually seeing the field a little bit, that matters. That's a huge piece for tonight.
Dude, I was like, who the fuck is Jalen Wright, man? I've been looking at this slate all day. That guy is not on one of these basketball teams.
Nope. Just create a player from NBA 2K just for you. Yeah, Jalen is third string. I'm aware. He is now 0 string because he is not on the field at any point tonight. He's a wing. That's funny too.
Okay, finally got tiers. All right. Giannis, Wemby, LaMelo, SGA.
Find it here. I just X'd out of it after we were talking.
That's Wemby for me.
That's Wemby for me. But if you played Giannis, I wouldn't care. It's just Ball and SGA
Agreed.
are distant.
Agreed. Curry, Banchero, Bam.
Banchero.
That's Bam for me. Franz, Jimmy, Bridges, Castle.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, Castle just still distant. Franz Wagner.
Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Washington's George, Sar, Hartenstein, Bane. I mean, that has to be Bane, right?
Bane.
That's Hartenstein for me.
It is Bane for me.
Kuminga, Sexton, Draymond, Vassell, Wiggins, McCollum.
Would have been Sexton. It is no longer Sexton. Let that be known.
Wiggins.
I have Wiggins. First one we've agreed.
Rollins, Davion, Turner, Middleton, Pods, Kuzma, Koulibaly.
If you play Kuzma, God rest.
I think it's Miles Turner.
It's probably Turner for me as well. One of the things too would have been Rollins, but tiebreaker being in tiers, a lot of people just click on the top, the fantasy one that is projected the most on just like what they've averaged.
True.
So you're going to see a spike, like a 5% spike at least for that. So definitely play Turner.
There we go. Thanks for the super chat. Nice to see. We got 12 minutes yet. You know what that means, don't you? No. Nuke time, baby. We back live before lock. Nuke of the night. I've got some nuke of the night options in my exposures that I'm not happy about, but they're going to end up being my nuke. But we're going to start with you. Who you got?
I mean, do we want the super grimy, greasy one I already talked about, or do we want the one that I kind of glanced on the San Antonio side?
I want whatever you're ready to give me.
Oh, my God.
Pause.
It's really inappropriate. Another violation, the old workplace here at Stokastic. But anyway, Stephon Castle is a 1.1 DraftKings points per minute player, and Stephon Castle, shooting guard only. I could not love this more. 35% in my top 150. I'm going to be trimming it down here. He's still going to be north of 30% for me, no matter what happens. Such a good fantasy producer. Needs to develop a jump shot. I would really like to watch Stephon Castle in the iteration of him where he can be a knockdown scorer for this team, because then San Antonio is going to be redonkulous. When they get Fox back, he's going to plummet. That won't be 7K, obviously, because, well, Fox is another guy who can't shoot that will just be out there chucking. So until that day, Stephon Castle, 7K, nuke of the night, and Cam Whitmore, obviously the greasy one, but I don't recommend 20% of him like me.
The guy that I'm most over the field on right now is Wendell Carter Jr. I'm not going to do that as my nuke of the night. It doesn't feel right. So I'm going to go to someone that I don't think I've ever named in a scenario like this. but he's a good basketball player. And I'm hoping he has the proper skill set for the matchup that he is going to be in today.
Bam.
$8,500 power forward. Bam Adebayo. Idris. Welcome to my lineup. You are the nuke of the night.
Felt that one coming. I'm all right with it. I will not be playing him on DK. I will not be cheering for you, but I understand what you are doing. I understand what is happening here. And as you said, yeah, he going back to USA versus France, the greatest basketball game ever played. Bam Adebayo, big part of that one.
No, it was a JV game my sophomore year of high school. That's the greatest game ever played. Double OT, 2 buzzer beaters, including one that got waved off because our coach called a timeout. It was great. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, in the first game we ever played in our new gym, too.
They still tell the tales of that JV game. They still tell them all these years later.
My best man in my wedding hit a step back 3 from the corner to send it to OT. But he was on the opposite team, so it wasn't fun for us.
Oh, okay.
He went to the Catholic school.
That actually is the best part of the story, if we're being honest. That's the part I enjoyed the most.
And then in OT, our dude hit like a 25-foot 3 from the right side with a couple seconds left, but our coach called timeout first, and they waved it off.
What an idiot.
It was insane.
Idiot. Loser.
I'm lucky I remember those details because I was pretty drunk. $5,200 DraftKings utility. He already has Knipple, Black, and Pelle Larsson.
Wait, how much Pelle Larsson do I have in my life? Do I have any Pelle Larsson? I have 0.
My answer is Kalel Ware.
Yeah. Where? The 5,200. Yeah, I have more Khalil Ware than I thought I did. 25% in top 150. So yeah, Khalil Ware. I got to trim this down here. What?
I'm willing to have that answer also be Jovic if you think you can do anything with that extra $800 or whatever you would have left.
It's fair.
There's also that. 7 minutes to go until lock, folks. Make sure you're getting those lineups in. At the very least, make sure you have a dummy lineup in so you're not left with nothing. I've been trying to be very diligent about that this year because I'm usually extra special lazy. We handed out nukes. Stephon Castle, Bam Adebayo, but there's still one more thing
No.
we have to hand out.
Why?
For the 2,300 people that are in YouTube and however many of you are watching on X, this is the white of the night. Eric.
I don't think we had talked about him before, but he's in my top projected lineup right now, and I think I'm going to roll with it, and I'm okay with it. We talked about Goga Bitadze at all? At all. He's 35 hundo. He is very, very cheap, and the combination of him and Cam Whitmore is my deviation off of a lot of chalk that I am playing. So I'm looking at Goga Bitadze, 3,500. He will be the exotic play of the night.
You aware of where he's from, man?
No.
No? It's from Georgia.
Just watch him play, and he's just it's Goga. He fits the criteria.
Close enough.
Okay. I hope so.
My biggest stand on anyone that fits our criteria for today. So, technically speaking, the guy that I want it to be, the guy that I'm 2Xing the field on, I don't think I'm allowed to pick anymore. Nikola Jovic, the guy that I have the most of, I believe now is my technical answer for this. However, I would have liked to take Isaiah Hartenstein. I just can't anymore.
No. You can't.
I guess technically speaking, I couldn't ever, but like I didn't have that information in my entire life.
You have that information now. Yes, I know what you're talking about there. 100%. There it is. Done. Well done. You've grown up. I'm very proud of you. Franz Wagner, probably going to be another great option for everybody involved. Yes. That's a guy we probably should have just said because the Sims love him today.
I don't have a ton of them, so that's why I didn't say him. Look, I don't have a ton of representation today.
There you go. No exotic plays today.
Not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. Today's not Austin Reeves day.
A lot of people wanting to play Fontecchio. That's an interesting one. No, thank you.
God told me not to play any Cam Whitmore tonight.
I have 35% for what it's worth. 35% Cam Whitmore. Oh boy, I'm disturbing. I disturb myself. But here's the thing: is I have like none of that game. So he's like the one player from that game that I ended up getting to. I need to trim this down. This is just too much. This is straight out dumb.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree. I think like 15 would do plenty.
That's kind of where I'm aiming to go. Let's do that here leading up to lock. That'd be good. All right. That's
chat. Perfect. You got anything else for us in these final 3 minutes? Don't forget, this day isn't over. NFL Live Before Lock is coming up in 15 minutes. They're taking you all the way to 8:15. We've got a great sports night. I don't know how many hockey games there are. I'm going to assume that some exist. We obviously have basketball. We obviously have football. It's a great time for sports right now, man. It's the best time. It's the sport. We're getting sports equinoxes.
Yep. Tomorrow, Friday, with NHL, NBA, no NFL, but getting a World Series game on top of it. It's going to just be magical. I'm excited for the weekend, ready to rock.
If we get a Game 7 World Series on Saturday, that'll be pretty fun.
Be incredible. Jovic available to play. We knew that, but officially came through. So there's that. I don't have a lot else to say here other than good luck, everybody. I mean, it's kind of going through my lineups. Did you have anything that surprised you in your final run? AJ Mitchell surprised me. I have a lot of AJ Mitchell.
I do not. No, nothing crazy. I mean, like I've got a couple pretty major stands. If the Orlando game goes my way, I'll be sitting nice. I've got a lot of the Miami game, or at least of Miami, but I like that logistically. Like I'm gonna clearly that's gonna move around a little bit as this slate goes.
Okay, don't mind it.
Well, we're at the end of the rope here. 90 seconds to go until this one is over. One final reminder. The link is in the description here. If you want to sign up at Stokastic and get our Sims for free for a month or potentially more than a month, the link is in the description. You just choose one of our partners on the Pick'em side or the Sportsbook side, and you end up with bonus money from them and no cost to us. I can't explain that any better. It's really as exceptional as it sounds. It's great. What do you got going on this weekend?
Let's see. Getting together, playing golf Saturday morning. I know everybody wants to hear about that, but let's see. Yeah, just basically chilling. Going to be betting a lot, I'm sure. Going to be playing a lot of DFS. NFL Live Before Lock on Sunday. That'll be ready to rock. Looking forward to that. Might have some cool stuff coming out for the NFL people on that, so a little teaser there. But otherwise, yeah, going to be pretty chill. Do you have the house to yourself the whole weekend? Is it boys' weekend?
It's either going to be till Saturday night or Sunday morning, undetermined at this moment. But I got a lot of shit I need to do one way or the other. I'm just going to be happy to have the peace and quiet, if I'm being honest.
That is understandable, my friend. That is understandable. Yeah. I could very much use that myself.
And by peace and quiet, I mean the puppy. It's not like Katie's hooting and hollering when she's here.
Oh, yeah. Mine is both.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are locked, everybody. Basketball is locked. We've got an hour before we got to do some late swaps, and we've got 15 minutes to go until the NFL show. Eric, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, head over to Oddshopper to the YouTube channel there, doing NBA and NFL, Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. I'll still round it out. I've covered every single MLB game the entire year. That isn't going to stop. until MLB is officially done. So hopefully we get 2 games over the weekend. That'll be great times as well. Cover the game 6 for tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I got Tails. You guys can jump into the Discord. Obviously had the collab there with Greg, Cole Anthony, and Ryan Rollins. Put the 2 together. I feel pretty good about Ryan Rollins' minutes. He's short in Cole Anthony, and good stuff over in that department. But otherwise, the beautiful thing about what we've changed up on Tails recently, there's now a retweet function. There's also an opportunity for you guys to be able to connect with us a little bit more. It's only going to get bigger and better from here. So jump in at the ground floor, tails.bet. That's where you want to go ahead. And also check out all of Josh's stuff over there. Now up over 2K followers. He's crushing it over on the Tails side of things. And just kind of throwing in some more NFL. I saw an NFL bet from him as well. I don't even know who you are anymore, but I do love to see it over there in the Tails street. So head to tails.bet and start following. You guys are great. Josh would tell you he already knows that. I would say something more modest, like, I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Have some fun, everybody. Thursday night football coming up in 14 minutes on this YouTube channel. See you later. Good luck. Win some money. I'm about to win 100K.
Lucky.